This is the most common chronic disease that you all here may have. It is curable, but unmanageable. You can have it for years, but you never know that you have it until it knocks you down. This disease is so powerful that it can even hypnotize your brain to make you and to persuade you to believe that I am an introvert so that I am unable to do public speaking. I am a woman so that I am unable to be a powerful leader. I am a man so that I am unable to be emotional. Which disease am I talking about? Not cancer, not heart disease, not even COVID-19. I am talking about self-labeling, the inner monster in the soul. Back to the day when I was 14, that we all have to face the high school entering exam, which where we can decide whether the future is successful or not. And the society, the school, or somehow myself, always want to define myself and want to know who I am, want to know what I am good at so that I could have a head up for the other. However, to show you how much I was clueless at that time, I could lead you into an interview that I have had at school. That interview asked a very common question that I was even used to ask other people when they attend my club. Show me, how can I distinguish you with other candidates? What is your special trait? At that time, I faced a crisis of myself. The identity of crisis, believing that I am just average. You know the feeling of being in the middle, or if not, let's just see. I am middle class. My grade was in the middle of the class. And even I study in bilingual school. My English is just a hybrid between Vietnamese and English. And whenever I tend to speak Vietnamese, they even tell me that, whoa, you sound like a foreigner trying to sound and talk in Vietnamese. Well, it's so weird that I don't know where would fit in, that I tend to find a definition for myself, a label. And I call myself an average person, an average student. And like many other average students, I passed through the application in the school calling out for such activities like Model UN, like TEDx last year, but I denied to enter because I thought I was average, and that activity is only for the elite student. But likewise, life is unexpected and is unpredictable. They always give it a moment that we never know is gonna happen. But we all go through it. COVID-19. The longest vacation we ever had. And for a teenager, we heard that we can't stay at home for that long. Yes, finally. But day and day pass, my routine is just the same of sleeping, eating, and then watching movie. Somehow, my mom cannot tolerate it. So, one day, she tried to transfer me to both my paternal and maternal grandparent. But the problem is that if you are a teenager, you would understand. Think back of the last long vacation or last long day that you spent with your grandparent. How was it like? Did you two get along? Did you two have fun, so much fun, and you feel like they are your soulmate? I wish that is the case with me and my paternal grandparent. Both of us got a fixed mind of I am young and they are old. We, we tend to not talk outside of the dinner table because we thought that the matter we're gonna discuss is not going to be the same. Even though whenever I try to approach him with such thing like, can you go out with me? Let's go and have a bike. Or can you please don't read that news because it's fake news. They say and respond back with the same old statement of I am old. I'm already old. I have been living in my life for 17 years, so there is no point for me changing. And I believe that, oh, it's all right. They already lived their life for 17 years, so I live my life, they live their life. So the rest of the day I spend in my paternal grandparent, I did not share anything. But the longer the day, I went to my maternal grandparent. It's my grandma who changed his own. With the same question statement, I'm asking them to go out, asking my grandma to have fun with me. She never answered with the same statement of I am old, but the statement of let's see what I can do. And that's why I have so much fun with her. It is so much that I feel like I want to be like her, an active person, a strong one, the one that always shareable. I feel like you may feel like what a story related to self-label. Let's just see one of my grandparents label themselves with being old, and the other they do not. And that's why they open to any contraception, then they open, and that's why I feel like shareable with me. And this situation also made me to refer back to a quote that you are what you think. So, to all students here, let's go back to when I was 14, that the most insecurity of me is my grade. So you guys, when you were a student, when you received a bad grade at a particular subject, what did you do? You probably went home and revised harder and harder for that subject, right? And however, if the fourth term, and then so on, the second, the third, the fourth term, you fail to get good grade, we probably end up concluding that, well, the subject is not for us. We are not doing good at it. However, have you ever thought that it might not because that subject is not for you, but maybe the way you are learning is ineffective? Maybe the test that I was required to do was practical, but all I do is remembering fact. And that's why I have come too soon to my conclusion that I'm not good in that particular subject. In this case, it's not only happen with students, but when we go out, choosing our career, and also we see the factor of gender, race, and other may affect us of the way we self-label ourselves. Let's just see an example. By a show of hand, show me that you have had someone say that they can do a particular job just because of their gender. Show me your hand. Interesting. So a woman, that is an example I will show you. According to Nippon Foundation, yes, asking women why they do not involve into politics. And strangely, after all the feminist movement of us calling out for equal right, equal pay, and also the equal to get a job, still 34% of women still believe that this is a job just only for men. 31% of women still believe that men go out and do the work and women stay home. It's not only the case in Japan, but here, right here, when I look for my career orientation, and I got female friend who like history and politics, but she denied to go into that field because she thinks it's too much for a woman. So, however, what makes this woman different? Do they label themselves with being women? Do they have superpower, powerful? Not properly, but the main difference is they never label themselves with particular thing referring to gender. And we, as human, whether you are extrovert, whether you are introvert, never know what is our ability might end. It is infinite. You today might be different from you tomorrow, might be different from you yesterday. Like the Wright brother, they go out of their own norm of that human cannot fly, so that they invent the airplane. But by the use of labeling ourselves with such definition of man, introvert, or anything the social gives to us, we, but nobody else, drag us in the excuse mechanism of, because I am this kind of person, the society have already defined it, and I already define it. So there's no point in changing it, and that is the way I should behave. But in the end of the day, we might never know that our potential have been limited. And I did limited myself with the thinking of I am average, with the thinking of I'm just a woman. But now, I choose to be nobody. Nobody here doesn't mean that I am not being recognized, but I am not really define myself with such conception or such thing, so that I can look at myself with open perspective and always coming and welcome the challenge that is going to come. And like a famous quote, and I want to quote from it, of Olga Lokata, that when you are born, you are pink. When you grow up, you are the color you are today. But when you get cold, you are blue. When you get sick, you are even bluer. And when you pass out, you get green. Just our skin color have different way to look. But why we just come to so far the conclusion of who we are? Is that too fast to do so? Yes, it is. So, I am standing here to challenge you to look at yourself with an open perspective, so that, and then you can look at others with open perspective, so that the world can be looked at an open perspective, that the humanity can come and at least from an endless potential and its own start with you. Thank you.